Welcome back to another video. We are in the Open Great League, and today we're going to be featuring a different team running the Mandibuzz paired with Lanturn and Shadow Alolan Sandslash. We have a pretty good lead here. As you can see that Sableye is not doing a lot of fast move damage. Most of it's going to be from the charge move, Return. We do take the Return, and we're going to throw this Dark Pulse here because we haven't been able to get a read on our opponent here as far as how they want to throw their moves. They try to catch a move right there, and that's when we decided to switch into the Sandslash. Sandslash is going to be able to shield a Hydro Pump there, which is really good. Now we know that they have the Hydro Pump, probably Play Road. But now that we know that they have Hydro Pump, we know that we can shield the move only when they have enough energy for it. And so we're going to be throwing this next move here to take out this Azumarill. And then now we're going to be met with the Medicham. Medicham comes back in. We're going to switch into our Lanturn. We have a decision to make. Are we going to shield here? We don't shield. Our opponent ends up combo play. We decided to shield here because we think we can get to 2 moves. But we actually CMP, so that is horrible for us. All that energy goes to waste, and now we're going to try to get to this foul play here. Our opponent ends up letting it go. We're going to go for this Aerial Ace. We do get the shield, and unfortunately we're not able to get to this charge move right here, so well played by my opponent. We're trying to get to a move, and unfortunately we just run out of health right there, so GG's to our opponent right there. We had a lot of energy on our Lanturn that went to waste, but they did a great job on comboing and trying to play it really tricky. So we decided to switch into our Sandslash here because we have 2 things good against that Pidgeot, so we're just going to switch into our Sandslash. They come back in with their Steelix. This Steelix is not necessarily the best thing to counter this Sandslash with, so this is very, very interesting pick. Also, we now know that they don't have a Medicham, so we can be pretty confident that they probably have some sort of ground or something in the back, trying to pair up with this Pidgeot. So we're gonna come in with Mandibuzz right here. We are going to allow this move to go through, I believe. Ends up being the Brave Bird. Interesting. This Brave Bird did a good chunk of damage, but it doesn't KO. So we're going to go into our Lanturn, and we absolutely get hard countered here. So it was something kind of like on the ground, but it actually was the grass type, not necessarily ground typing, but we're going to have to let this go. And now we're going to see if Mandibuzz can do some good work here. We're going to go with this Thunderbolt here. Thunderbolt does get it low enough. We are going to be having to use these shields. So we invest the first shield to get the first Aerial Ace. We're going to have to invest another shield here because we're looking to farm down. They go for the Frenzy Plant, so that tells us they don't have energy for 2 moves, and we are able to farm it down. So GG's to our opponent right there. We are able to figure a way to win that match. Kind of a weird situation when you switch into your Sandslash and they come in with a Steelix, but you can tell Sandslash was their core breaker for the entire team. Here, our opponent is running the Shadow Claw Sandslash, so we are not taking a lot of fast move damage, but we are going to be taking a lot of charge move damage. This charge move allows us to soak the first one, and we're going to try to catch on the second one. Perfect. Ends up catching the Ice Punch correctly, and that means that we are going to be able to get to the Surf before they get to a potential Drill Run. So they're going to farm up a little bit extra, and this could potentially be the bait or the Drill Run, so we end up shielding. Because they went for the Drill Run, we know we can get to the next Surf before they get to another Drill Run. They actually invest 2 shields in this situation, and now we're just going to let this go. We weren't going to be able to farm down, I don't think. But we are going to be able to farm down with the Mandibuzz, so we soak up all that. ends up being a Azumarill, I believe. But then they switch out into their Gligar. This Gligar has no chance. Okay, never mind. It ends up being the Carbink, sorry. But because we are able to run this Drill Run, this Drill Run is doing roughly like 40% damage. And we are going to be able to shield here. So this is all but GG's, and our opponent knows. So GG's to our opponent right there. We are able to come back from that kind of a weird situation. But on to the next game here. If you didn't realize it already, by the way, I forgot to mention the Lanturn is running the Spark version, and our Shadow Alolan Sandslash is running Shadow Claw. So here we have the Regis versus the Mandibuzz. We kind of have a weird situation with this Registeel. The plan right there was to soak up and shield a Zap Cannon and see if we got the debuff. If we had the debuff, then we dip. And so here, we're going to dip out because we got the debuff. And then we are actually matched up with another bad situation. This Trevenant here is pretty good against our Lanturn. But this Lanturn is able to get this Trevenant pretty low. But now we're going to be able to come back in with our Mandibuzz. We don't have to shield anything. It resists all the moves. So we're gonna tank a Shadow Ball there. So here we go again, the same situation. We're gonna see if we can get lucky and avoid a debuff. Okay, so we're gonna shield here. We do shield the Zap Cannon, but unfortunately it ends up being a debuff situation, and they're gonna be able to get to a Focus Blast here because they did overcharge, and unfortunately for us, we just don't have enough charge moves to break down 2 shields and to farm down this Reggie. Looks like they are going to keep this Reggie alive by double shielding. We go for 2 Dark Pulses here, and that is all but GG's. A little bit unlucky that their Zap Cannon's got the double debuff on us, but, you know, it is what it is. Maybe if we had switched out immediately and played a more fluid situation, it would have been different, but on to the next. So, Azumarill on the front, we're going to switch into the Lanturn. We do get a little bit of an energy head start. Our opponent ends up throwing the Foul Play, which doesn't hit quite as hard. So we're going to be able to try to throw 2 Surfs here. We do get a shield, which is good. Our opponent ends up throwing the Foul Play here. We're going to shield this one. And we're going to throw the next move for Surf. We're going to try to get 2 shields, honestly. So we do get 2 shields. We're going to try to get to another Surf. Our opponent is aware. And when they throw on CMP tie, so we'll take 2 shields. We're going to try to throw optimal timing here, which is going to take out this Sableye. They come in with their Azumarill, but their backline is a Marowak. Unfortunately for the Marowak, it is not able to tank a Drill Run because it's Shadow, but it did do a lot of fast move damage. We are already close to 75% health done. Because the Azumarill could just throw any chip move, we decided to shield that one and go for the Drill Run damage. So they decided to quit, and that's GG's. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.